Hello and welcome to today's stream. And today we're going to be continuing on where we've been all this week, as we do every week. And today we're going to be colouring in my picture of Hellboy. Again, we'll be listening to some more from the story of Hellboy. So you've been listening and waiting for the next part of the story. If you don't know the story or so far and you do not want to get spoiled by that, then check out the previous videos this week. Got many gaming videos as well. And we played The Witness on Wednesday yesterday. And today's Thursday. Normally we would do the colouring on Wednesday. But today, this week, I have been a bit delayed on Monday. So we started it on Tuesday. Normally on Monday we'll do a sketch. And then Tuesday we will ink that sketch with a copic marker. Sorry, not copic marker. That's what we're using today. Either with a 7-point ink, sketches and all sorts of different good ink pens. Sort of get that refined lining. Again, I've just had my dinner, so I'm going to probably bark about 4 times before I actually get round to finishing what I'm saying in my intro. But today we're going to be colouring in as it needs to be coloured. But I can't decide what's better. Pencil or pen? Let me know in the comment sections what you use, guys, but I'm going to be using either, both, or neither. I have, as always, got my pen marker out. These are meant to be a copic marker ink. They're sort of, but they're very crap. And we've got this ones, which these, I really hope the red works on this, because this is a beautiful pen to use. They are the copic marker brush pens, and they're in the shape of a felt tip, but the ends bend, so you can if you can see the bend, the ends bend, so you can actually, I got some nice red on me then as well. They bend, so you can do things with them, like get some fine lining in. If I need to do it here, I'll probably use that pen. I could use a red pencil to go over it first, and then use this as a darker overlay, because you do find with pencil you just don't have that darker line where you're able to shade, but it's just the lighter shade doesn't look dark enough to me. Some people say use two different colors. I do use that when I do skin tones and stuff like that. So maybe I'll use a darker brown for the skin tone darker. Maybe I'll use an ever so slightly darker, lighter shade of red. Another pencil, as in lead pencil. That's fun. So yeah, we're going to be listening to that. My name, as always, is Blut084, BLUT084, art and games. Here every single day on YouTube, occasionally on Mixer, but every day and night over on Instagram. Don't forget to click the links that will appear at the end of the game, end of the film, end of the something that's happening today, end of my drawing, end of the video is what I'm going to say. Then click those links, check out anything else that may take your fancy. Otherwise, go into playlist and have a look around, because I can guarantee you will find something that you want to listen to, or even watch and help with if it's live.
Can this be him? The one I have waited centuries to see? How strange. So far from his path that I barely see the promise of glory. Can this be him? This Hellboy? Oh, crap.
Only because the tail got in the way.
And I sensed there was a sudden release of energy here. Yes, very powerful.
You're good. I've worked with psychics before, but you're really something. And then I thought it was just bad feng shui. I hate psychics.
I know, but
I've lost my pencil sharpener. Once again, I have to look for the damn thing.
Looks like your high priestess didn't do so well. This fight's over.
Uh-oh. It's not where it's meant to be.
I dropped him in the lake. You guys didn't look too hard. That hurts. Hey, you can stop this now. Use your head. You just have to forgive them, or else we'll end up doing this all over again. And you're never gonna win.
we are greater beings than they could ever dream.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing just fine.
My big one's gone down, took a walking about. That's not good.
Come and walk.
Not good at all, because I like that one. You get good stuff on it. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, I've got I have got some pencil down, which I think I might keep. But what I'll use to darken areas for shading and stuff is this pen here. So keep watching, guys, as you get two different kinds of drawing today.
Can we do this some other time?
You're stained with the blood of your own kin. Now come to me.
Oh, shut up.
A mother must feed her children.
Screw you. I don't suppose this will work. No, but it'll piss him off. Go wide.
We were born to walk in greater worlds.
This world's fine by me.
And to this puny world of men.
Think again, dumbass. Because now, I'll fist. Here, have some sun.
Stop this. Your destiny.
Destiny is overrated. The world needs what we can do. That makes us good guys. That's enough for me.
This pencil's actually working out quite nicely. Oh.
Welcome to Skyworld.
There we go. Just going to be listening to whatever pops up today on Hellboy. Oh, this is not Hellboy. That would be Spawn. We've got an animated sort of store which you can listen to, but you can't watch. So it's about an hour. So I think I'll keep it going for a while.
Aber soweit ich weiß, hat er Familie. Und ich denke, wir sollten.
I think it's in German. Speak.
Niedlich.
Yep, it's in German.
Hast du eine Ahnung, wonach?
Oh yeah. think possibly.
Again, will I be dishonored and never again will I be reminded of living again the world of the jaded vacuum inspiration. It's my obligation to never again allow this to happen. What do I again? The choices are endless, denying sin, my own, my redemption. I can't breathe the torch of my life for me. The thing I treasure most in life cannot be taken away. There will never be a reason why I will surrender to your advice to change myself. I'd rather die, though they will not understand. I will make the greatest sacrifice. You can predict where the outcome lies. You'll never take me alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. I'm alive. Hate again cannot be considered irate. Again, dispelling my anger with joy. Again, the choices are endless. My heart, my redemption, my only salvation, my prayer. The gift that I have been blessed with. My soul is adrift in oceans of madness, recurring. The gift that you have created. I am on the road, brothers, give me your arms now. The thing I treasure most in life cannot be taken away. There will never be a reason why I will surrender to your advice to change myself.
I'm going to stop that there because I'm thinking. I first thought that might have been a just a bit of animated short with different songs, but that's a whole song, so I'm probably going to get copyright for that. So I'm going to turn it off before this video gets completely blocked. Let's see. Troll Watch. Hellboy shorts. Yes. Sorry guys, I really can't have that music going because I will get in a lot of trouble.
Have you come to kill me?
Maybe.
You have come about the murders. I know. Too savage for any man. Trolls, they say. And I know that tonight there will be more.
You seem to know a lot. You must get around.
No, the world comes to me. Crooked wing and crooked feet. I know the secret places. And I know about you, Hellboy.
Lady, cut to the chase. Why'd the townspeople send me here?
It's a sad story. Once there was a woman who could bear no children. Despairing, she sought the help of a witch. The witch gave her 2 flowers, warning her to eat only the pretty one, not the ugly weed. She did, and soon birthed a beautiful baby girl. She could have been happy, but her husband wanted a son. So she ate the weed, and the second daughter was born. Monstrous, trollish, and the woman once again knew despair. Years passed, and despite their differences, the sisters grew inseparable. until on Christmas Eve their festivities were halted by a great roaring ruckus. The trolls holding a Yuletide celebration. Enraged, the poor ugly girl went out to fight. Her worried sister had run to the window and the troll slashed her head, putting a cow's head in its place. She became a cow. The ugly child was furious. Wielding a wooden spoon and riding a goat, she went down into the troll's domain.
Wait. I've heard this one before. She killed a pile of trolls, got the girl's head back, and then her sister magically became human again and married a prince or something. Right?
Wrong. She lived and died a cow. Her bones lie outside. But her sister did bring back the gift. Someday a woman who is wanting children will come to me, and I will give her these flowers to eat. And her children will be beautiful, not trollish.
Yeah.
Ah, but you came about the trolls. Take this steel wedge with their blood. Lay it at the entrance of their caves, and they will not dare to cross over it. And when the sun rises, they will turn to stone. No blow struck and no blood spilled. And I wonder, how will you feel about that?
Okay, so we've done the pencil layer. So let's go in with a little bit of copic marker now and go over in the darker areas where I want to put a little bit more shading. But because there is no shading layer and you can't really do that with copic markers, that's why I've done it in pencil first, just to show you where you can start putting darker areas, where you want the darker areas more so, and still have that sort of pencil shady look.
I offer you a glimpse of a legendary creature lost in time. Neither ape nor man, but a giant. He's had many names. Skookum, Uruguru, Sasquatch, and most commonly known as
Susan.
Susan,
Yeah, Susan.
that is a girl's name.
Yes, that's correct.
It suits you.
I always think of the character outside of the script that I've read and what his life was like in the woods, and he probably was kind of a loner and kind of sweet. My family is on the other side of the world.
The Yeti.
Take me there.
I give you my word.
Okay, what is it?
It's a figure of speech.
Sounds good. What is it? I
I
think Mr. Link is very human. Oh, but he doesn't have a lot of social graces. Oh, he was curious about what it was like outside of the woods. Oh. Wait a second. I said, oh, like I knew what you were talking about, but I don't. This Missing Link character is allowed to be goofy and lovable, and he is allowed to be himself.
You're beautiful.
Can you hold on one second? I'm uncomfortable. It would be nice if I would do a voice once that wasn't overweight.
The world's greatest paranormal investigator
Okay,
is not
that's
from this
Hellboy.
world at all.
As you about Hellboy.
And
Let's
here
carry on
we're taking
then.
a look at the origins of Anun Unrama, also known as Hellboy. As with most comic book
Anun
characters, there
Unrama.
are often different versions to a character's
Don't say his
past.
name out loud.
We have chosen to primarily follow the storyline that unfolded
won't
in
come and get ya.
1994's Hellboy: Seed of Destruction, which was then expanded upon in 1996's Hellboy: Wake the Devil. Hellboy's origins trace back to World War II. Realizing that they were losing the war, the Nazis enlisted the help of a sorcerer named Grigory Rasputin, who promised to perform a miracle that would reverse the tide of the conflict. Under the close supervision of the Nazis' paranormal agents, he set about to perform his dark ritual in a remote location off the coast of Scotland. Unbeknownst to the Nazis, the Allies had gotten wind of this experiment and had sent their own paranormal team to investigate. Under the direction of England's top psychic medium, the Allied team set up camp in an old church. Sensing that something was about to happen there, the medium instructed the Allies to wait. Meanwhile, Rasputin completed his spell with the eruption of a brilliant flash of lightning, although to the dismay of the Nazis, it appeared that nothing had happened. However, back at the church, there was a momentous explosion. When the dust cleared, a small red demon was sitting calmly in front of the astonished Allied team. The top paranormal expert on site, Professor Trevor Brutenholm, dubbed the creature Hellboy and became the creature's adopted father in the years that followed. Nearly 50 years later, we find Hellboy still with the professor. Now fully grown, Hellboy works with the professor at the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense as their top agent. Most of Hellboy's physical attributes stem from the fact that he is, in fact, a demon. He has red skin, cloven hooves for feet, and a tail. He also has 2 flat circles on his head, which are actually the bases of the horns he would have if he didn't keep them filed down. Although he is larger than a fully grown adult, Hellboy still retains the mental maturity of a young man, and seems to not age past his physical prime.
He's real.
Yeah, 60 years old by our count, but he doesn't age like we do. Think reverse dog years. He's barely out of his 20s.
Perhaps his most distinguishing characteristic is his oversized right hand, which appears to be made of stone and is, for all intents and purposes, indestructible. Not only can he use this giant stone fist as a club in battle, but he also possesses superhuman strength and resilience. Although he is not invulnerable, he can sustain injuries that would surely kill mortal men. In the field, Hellboy sports a trench coat and an oversized revolver. He also carries a utility belt filled with charms and talismans that protect him from a variety of paranormal dangers. At the conclusion of Seed of Destruction, Hellboy confronts Rasputin. The sorcerer tells him that he was summoned to command the forces of evil, including the Ogdru Jahad, an enormous squid-like monster meant to bring about the destruction of the world. In the ensuing battle, the Ogdru Jahad and Rasputin are both defeated, but only due to the last-second intervention of Hellboy's friends Abe Sapien, an intelligent fishman, and Liz Sherman, a woman with unstable pyrokinetic abilities. In a later issue, entitled Wake the Devil, Hellboy is confronted by the goddess Hecate. She reveals his true name to be Anung Un Rama, which translates into, upon his brow is set a crown of fire. She reiterates to Hellboy that he is destined to bring about the end of days, and explains to him that his right hand is actually the physical key to this. It is also revealed, albeit rather indirectly, that Hellboy was actually born to a human mother, while she herself was imprisoned in hell. Throughout his adventures, Hellboy battles a wide variety of paranormal creatures and beings, and time again seems to only narrowly escape with his life and salvation. In recent years, Hellboy has starred in several animated features, as well as in 2 major motion pictures, which star Ron Perlman as Big Red himself.
Gonna be sore in the morning.
Are you a fan of the BPRD's Top Agent? For more wicked superhero origins, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I'm fireproof.
You're not.
You're not.
Oh, I love that bit in the film. I can't wait till the next one comes out. But like I was saying to you guys, yeah, you can now see the difference. That's an advert. Yeah, as you can see here, now I've started to put the pen on top of it. Ever so gently, because I'm using my feather pen. Sorry, not my pen, my brush pen. I can get a depth, and I don't have to have a solid line. It can just be ever so slightly dainty, like you would do a paintbrush, or they can be quite thick and heavy on there. I need to darken out his eyes a little bit. So what colour should I use? I don't think I'm going to use red, because I need to keep it in yellow. What colours do I have in here? So I can maybe use. Now I've got dark colours, but not quite dark enough. Got a nice brown here. Maybe I can find a pencil first and then do it that way. Lots of greens, lots of yellows and other colours that aren't dark colours. There's black. I suppose that works. It's black and dark as you can be. Have to get what's playing.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Hybrid Network and another discussion over the Hellboy universe, in particular, the animated side of things. For those maybe not in the know or you just missed out on them, let's go over a little bit of backstory. After the initial release of Hellboy back in 2004, 2 animated features were released under Starz Media, releasing in 2006 and 2007
Really?
respectively. They're good. And I'm not just saying like, okay, good. I mean like they're really, really good. These features encompass a lot of the experience that comes from reading the Hellboy comics themselves, from the dark tone of the books to the sarcastic nature of the characters, all the while it incorporates the terrific voice talent of the Del Toro movie's actors. So that means you still get Ron Perlman as Hellboy, Selma Blair as Liz, Doug Jones as Abe Sapien, and even John Hurt as Professor Broom. It's the best of both worlds. Each of these animated films followed 2 distinct plot lines. The first one, Sword of Storm, steeped itself in Japanese folklore and saw Hellboy transported to an alternate dimension, desperate to find his way out, but coming up against all manners of Japanese yokai and spirits, while other BPRD members are forced to contend with the beasts lurking within the real world, attempting to cause unparamount destruction. The second film, Blood and Iron, saw release in 2007, a year after the first, and dealt with events very similar to the Wake the Devil miniseries from the comics. But it gave Professor Broom a much larger role within the context of the story, as the team battles against the resurrection of a vampire while Hellboy is confronted with his dark destiny as the harbinger of the apocalypse. Again, what I mean to get across is that these movies were great, and a third one had been in the works, but we just never got to see it. Which is unfortunate, because the Hellboy animated series is probably one of the best pieces of extended media regarding the character. While the Hellboy movie from 2004 centered itself in a cult following, and despite my praise for the film, there's always a sense that there could have been a little bit more there to capture the original essence of Mignola's comic series. The animated films bridge this gap and bring the best of both worlds, steeping themselves within folklore and getting as close as possible to the original horror roots of the comics. Character design seemed reminiscent of Mignola's simpler style, and the darkened color palette creates a much more morbid atmosphere, giving us a better understanding of a bureau that works against dark forces conspiring against humanity. There's occult worship, goddesses, evil yokai, and then a straight-faced badass that just doesn't have the time to give a crap. These films embody a lot of why I like Hellboy, and in my opinion, I would love for some of them to make a comeback of some kind. Again, it's probably like way too late to even be asking for such a thing. These films have been around for a decade, and I doubt it would be that easy to bring back the original animation and production team, but that's not going to stop me from making some sort of plea. I mean, even if we couldn't get the same team to come back, I think it would be worth it to try and extend the franchise past the new reboot coming out. Maybe creating some sort of animated series for Adult Swim. With Samurai Jack able to make a great comeback and several of its other programs able to make big names for themselves, I feel like it'd definitely be worth it to try and add Hellboy back into mainstream consumption outside of just a reboot. If they really want this franchise to flourish, I think they have to start looking at ways to expand it outside of a singular medium. And animation, I think, provides the perfect way to encapsulate the new direction and tone that the series is
not going to do the same thing with his
for those that
jacket.
are still upset over Ron Perlman not being able to don the trench coat and stone hand, this could be the perfect chance for him to come back and continue on with the character. At the very least, I think you should all take it upon yourselves to check out the animated films and the extended animated universe comics. They're well worth it and actually act as great introductions between enjoying the Del Toro movies and maybe shifting into the comic series if you're interested in reading them. Either way, we need more animated endeavors for Hellboy, and if the new reboot is successful, then maybe we'll see more. After all, if Deadpool can get his own animated series, then what's to stop Hellboy? But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below, and thank you all for checking out this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Hybrid Network for more updates and discussions on the wider world of Hellboy and his larger universe. This is Luke signing out.
There's more out there than I thought about Hellboy. I was just looking for animated stuff, but there seems to be a hell of a lot of information that I don't know about, so I'm just going to keep listening to what's going to keep flashing up at me, as long as they're not too many adverts. I'm quite happy with listening to this. If you are too, guys, let me
В
know.
английском фольклоре есть существа, вид гоблинов, которые обитают в разрушенных башнях и отдаленных святынях, именуемые редкэпами. Эти существа убивают путников и пропитывают шляпы их кровью, окрашивая их в красный цвет. Я взял за основу идею, отбросил шляпу и добавил железные башмаки, потому что мне очень понравилось название «Железные башмаки».
There you go.
Это небольшой эпизод секшена. Я решил, что он будет лучше смотреться в формате мультфильма. Возможно, даже лучше, чем смотрится в формате комикса. Итак,
Hellboy Animated. По мотивам комиксов Майкла Миньолы «Hellboy», изданных компанией Dark Horse. Железные башмаки.
Епископ выгонит меня из прихода, если узнает, что я вызвал тебя. Но он образованный человек, выросший в городе.
God damn. Injustice? He's even Injustice? I didn't know this.
Somehow Brainiac shanghaied me on a slow boat to this universe. Bastard had big dreams about me being in his collection. Guess what I thought about that idea? Taking Brainiac out certainly got folks' attention. I got a lot of offers to stick around, but I got bored quick. Megalomaniac villains and tights-wearing heroes really aren't my thing. What's what they say? Home is where the heart is. But when I got back, things just weren't the same. Bureau felt too small. It's time for me to hit the road. Africa was totally the right call. Wide open spaces suit me. Clean air, starry skies, and not surprisingly, more than a few monsters to hunt. All in all, makes for a pretty good life.
Going over with my Copic marker pen now. It's just a marker pen. Oh, so fed up.
I still can't believe it.
Neither can I, because you're in the wrong thing. Now go away.
Just putting in darker lines, darker things, and just sort of makes it look that little bit, that little bit extra where you want it to be. Well, yeah, I wanted it to look like a leather jacket. It is ripped on this side. I don't know how really to do that effect, but I think we're doing all right, guys. What do you think? Again, please let me know in the comments section what you think of this week's project, and have you been drawing along? We've had somebody draw already and draw along with me, which thank you very much for doing that. He has entered his thing over on Instagram. If you want to check it out, it's Blute084, same name, different place. Little bits here and there, making the color look sexy. Go do the fire yet. Let's see. Before I go crazy, have I got a brown here? I do prefer this colouring pens. I don't. I'm going to go with jeans for his trousers. Probably doesn't wear jeans, does he? I also haven't coloured in his hand. The great stone hand. It was a bold choice doing it all in one colour, you friggin' idiot. Okay, turn into a scabber up there. I haven't done any define lines. Oops. Make it look like he's got some sort of binding wrap on it. Every sword has that. Colour of his horns are black. Am I not? Or are they red? I think they're red at the base. I don't know. Colour of trouser. Let's try this metallic. Because it's pencil. Hiccups. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, does it? Because down there you're not gonna. Whatever. That's good enough. Maybe not. Let's give him an edge, a dark edge here. Look. See how much this blue is running out. I've used this blue quite a bit. That'll do, I think. Don't want a huge amount of good, you know, whatever. So we'll go up here. I want to do his horns. I don't know what colour his horns are, and I don't want to get. I'm going to do it in pencil first. I'll do it in this stage and get it this way. Looks good. But I don't know what colour his horns are when they're out and in the corridor. I think they're red. Yeah, they're red. Hellboy animated Sword of Storms. What music? Oh, it's a theme song. It's a theme song, everybody. I mean, actually, I probably have that going while I draw, because all you're doing is listening to it. So, fuck it. Stop that.
These new world things, I have no clue. We don't have these in my world. This must be a new world thing. What's this called?
It's a grape. I've seen those.
No, really?
Quite often, actually. Like, maybe I haven't been a day in the past 17 years without seeing one of those. Keep your eyes open, my friend.
Jonathan, Michael, Leonardo, Raphael, Forsyth, Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael! Begin!
Cowabunga do, so let's get it on. Reptiles against the fathers of the Renaissance. We got the classical technique to keep these freak old freaks back onto the streets. I take a turtle and turn him into mincemeat. You don't really want to step to Da Vinci. I love the ladies, I like to keep it mellow. So let me pass the mic to my man Donatello. Hard shell, but you're gross in the middle. Wouldn't want to touch you with a 6-foot chisel. Born in poop, raised in poop. I slice through a root from edges like fruit. Oh,
Yo, Mama yell when I came to flow. Being dope with a pope and a bone till I croak. I'm an MC strutter, but I get the feeling. I should pass it up to my man, I'm a silly. Oh, Michelangelo and I'm giant. I make David, but I slay you like a lion. I'm a rap god and he can't quite touch me. Battle's your last judgment, trust me. We drop science. We got the mathematics. The architects to reverse the mathematics. You beat the fuck, but it won't go well. When you get to the Italian, look to the half shell. The wisdom of our master thinker taught us not to rush to violence, but our master speaker. Hey, here, I don't think you want to mess with my guitar. Hey, you're probably held like off a flower. I can be my steady rock the mic sucker. I'm a pristine, nunchucker. Oh, I am a cool remote guy. Put you back in school with the tip of a two side. Don't tell me who you are again, dude, because I don't got him a lot of clue what you do. That's because you just are too immature. You want to know genius of a pitch in your soul. You got to tell. And the lie is right, so sweet. You're like your NES day. You can't beat me. Go ahead and hate, we just stay on by. You guys draw more dicks than New York Pride.
I just thought I'm probably going to get blocked for that as well. If it's on YouTube now, the rules are, if it's on YouTube and it's been played and it's taking money for their music, that's also copyrightable. And I think some of those tunes have actually been uploaded to place thing called Scarata. What is it? Spotify. So if they're up on Spotify, that's definitely a no-no. You will never be able to use that yourself unless you actually ask permission, which I have no idea how to do. I'm liking this horn the way it is, though. I don't think it needs any colour itself. Kind of look like tentacles now coming out of his head, but let's see if we can darken this a little bit. So remembering the fire is coming from his middle of his head, or between the two horns. I must say, once I saw that in the film, that his crown is a fire crown, I was like, yep, I'm sold. I want a fire crown, give me a fire crown. The horns will I'll happily carry the horns as well. Not so much the Baradin of Hellboy, but you know, no. So there's the horns. Do you need a zoom in? Oh God, still haven't done the hand. Like one of the biggest things about Hellboy, and I haven't finished doing it. His hand is like a off color of red, more of a brownie kind of. Well, I say brownie. I can't think of the actual color itself. Well, I'm over on Instagram, just getting a few messages. Thank you very much for those. I keep forgetting I go silent, and that's normally why I've got something playing in the background. I was just taking a quick picture there to show people what I'm getting up to. But you have to watch live to see what I'm actually doing, guys. Oh, is that bad of me? Is that bad of me? Don't judge me. Okay, I'm going to find something to watch while I figure out what else I'm going to be using this colour for. But it ain't looking too bad. We've got to do the hand and the background as well. The background is a flag, if you haven't already noticed, guys. That's also my phone going, I got 5 on it. Right, we need to find something that's not unboxing. We've seen all the animated shorts. They were pretty good, actually. Or trailers. I don't want trailers. I'm trying to look for something good to watch at the minute. That's another trailer. Oh, that Blood Night. See what's going on there. There we go. Trailer. God damn, will you stop being trailers? Ah. Okay, I think we've got the story. Blood 9.
Professor Sakai, I'm sure I got a sword you want to see right here.
2 demons, sons of the storm. Once they wake, the time of man will be at its end.
Beautiful.
What have you done with our bodies?
Damn heads. I don't have time for this. Do you feel our brothers are calling? Now I'm pissed.
You have been placed on a dangerous path. Protect the sword.
Wow. I'll give you something to chew on.
I think this is a load of trailers. It's that thing again, isn't it? Yeah. 40 videos of the same thing. Oh, that would be my... Okay, I'm just going to play it from there, see what happens.
It's the Blockbuster Celebrity Special.
Oh, gives a monkey's crunch. Think about the crunch, Roy.
Can you believe
But
this?
what about the
At least
crunch?
we're out of the rain.
I thought you liked rain.
No, not this. This feels wrong.
Underwater, that giving the air thing, that was I didn't know you could do that.
Well, I wasn't sure it would work either, but I have burped excess air before, so I thought I might.
Ah! I was breathing your burps? Ah! Thanks. Good. Good to know.
You know, it wasn't actually a burp, though. Sapien,
Good to hear you. We just picked up your telemetry. What happened?
the plane was hit by lightning.
Boom, boom, ba-da, boom, boom, ba-da-da-da.
All over. The storms are off the charts. All commercial.
I'm gonna have to change this color to the red. To the red, what color shall I use in my red? We've got this one. And we've also got this one, is pink.
Earthquake anomalies?
Let me check. Yeah. One in every storm center. Hey, there was one right near you. You feel it?
Saw it. Tell Manning to send agents to check for weird crap wherever there's been a quake. And have them take guns. Big ones. Sherman and Sapien out. Here. What?
That's right, I think I'll just use this brown here.
In
belt.
Japanese mythology, a fox is considered a mystical creature.
Japan, Hellboy. Then I guess it's here for us. Come here. Come here. Come here. Foxy.
Hey buddy, welcome to the chat.
Great.
What do you think of the drawing today?
Why doesn't it look wet?
You've missed me doing different shading or tone on the skin. Because what I used is pencil. Here. And then I went over it with a brush pen, which is copic marker. And now I'm just finalizing a few bits with my two-sided copic marker brush pens. Well, one's brush pen, and the other side
Could you give us some light?
is a just like a felt tip type thing.
Thank you.
That's not me.
Oh, never
But if you want to see that, don't forget you can rewind and check it all out.
See the fox?
But if you want to know how I drew all of this, there are 2 more videos before this where you can get the sketching and you get the inking stage.
Do not worry about your friend. He walks a path of fate's choosing. Much depends on his success. Our friend?
I'm just now going around things,
Didn't want to assume.
using what different colors I have. I'm also listening to Hellboy in the background,
They are thunder and lightning. Their spirits are already here.
but it just depends on what I can listen to on the Hellboy, because there's a lot of copyright, especially on YouTube. I do not want this video to be banned once it's gone, finished being live. I want other people to be able to watch.
The Hellboy reboot is now just 6 months away,
there we
and
go.
fans of
Just
Mike
gone into
Mignola's
another video.
red-skinned, shaved horns wearing, Hand of Doom toting half-demon have been eagerly awaiting the movie and gobbling up every available piece of information released about the project. Well, we got ourselves a ton of new information, really our first pieces of information about the movie this past week as the movie began its marketing push, officially debuting a new poster, a new banner, and unveiling its first
Are you
trailer
looking forward to the new film? Are you a fan of Hellboy?
even though it hasn't officially been released yet to the public. While the trailer showed off our first look at Harbour's Hellboy in action, smirking, smoking, and swearing, as he should, Alice Monaghan played by Sarah Lane, Ben Daimio played by Daniel Day Kim, and of course the big bad Queen Nimue played by Mia Jovovich. The trailer and banner confirm what had been widely reported for months, that the movie is going to be adapting the Wild Hunt storyline, the Storm and the Fury storylines, which is basically just one big, massive arc that actually ended Mike Mignola's original Hellboy trilogy, in which Hellboy faces off against the Queen of Blood, Nimue, in a basically world-ending cataclysmic showdown. But hidden in plain sight among all of this was a massive piece of that story, and a major confirmation for the movie that the sword Excalibur is actually going to be making an appearance.
The sword appeared in the first trailer, first with Hellboy approaching the blade in a large cavern, and later at the end with Hellboy with his full horns wielding the sword on fire, which looks like the pose that we see in the first official poster. But we also see Excalibur in that larger banner poster that was released last weekend for NYCC. And in this poster, we also see basically everyone else in the movie: Nimue, her minions on the left, and the BPRD to the right, with Hellboy standing front and center, wielding the sword and not on fire, although London definitely is in the background. But why is this such a big deal, and what is Excalibur going to mean for the film? Well, in the comics, Excalibur was essentially what it is in Arthurian myth. It was a magical sword first wielded by King Arthur. In the books, Hellboy, who's actually only a half-demon, is also a descendant of King Arthur on his mother's side, basically descended from him through his son Mordred and Morgan Le Fay. This gives him the ability to draw the sword from the legendary stone and take up his place as the rightful king of Britain, as his ancestor was before him, which is a major, major part of this story arc. In the comics, Nimue, the Queen of Blood, has risen and raised an army to bring about the end of the world. And using Excalibur, Hellboy raises an army of Britain's noble dead, basically great warriors from throughout its history who fell in battle, to oppose her. But even though he carried the sword very briefly, Hellboy ultimately rejected it and the leadership of the army of the dead. The why of that is a little more complicated, though, because you see, Hellboy is basically destined for things. He feels like his life is out of his own control. Originally, he was destined to be the beast of the apocalypse, wearing a crown and wielding a flaming sword, wink wink, and leading the armies of hell and bringing about the apocalypse. But through his lineage from King Arthur, he's also destined to become the king of Britain, leading the army of the noble dead in battle against Nimue or whomever. The text itself seems to imply that by refusing to use Excalibur against Nimue and take up his place, his destined place as the leader of the army of Britain, Hellboy is also rejecting his other demonic destiny, whether it's because he sees them as intertwined or if it's just part of his larger character and personality, basically rejecting and running from the path laid out for him, which seems like it's always been his MO. But what role could the sword play in the film? Well, ultimately it comes down to exactly how much of this large story arc the movie is going to adapt. I think it's obvious that it's not going to be able to adapt all of it, because in the comics, the full story of Nimue plays out over the course of 14 issues, separated out into 3 separate miniseries. The first 8 issues in the Wild Hunt arc, then the next 3 in the Storm arc, and the final 3 in the Fury arc. And all 3 of these story arcs are kind of interspersed with little side stories happening in between them as well. So it wasn't even like one continuous 14-issue block. It was actually like 8, and then 3 side stories, and then another 3, and then another couple side stories, and then the final 3 wrapping up the entire series. The Wild Hunt largely dealt with the setup for the next 2 parts. It was basically about Nimue returning to life and power. We got Excalibur established and learned more about how Hellboy is connected to that and King Arthur. Then the Storm saw Hellboy first use the sword, but ultimately reject the sword and his destiny to battle Nimue alone. But Fury, which I said before, brings it all home, sees a new champion take up Excalibur and lead the army of the British dead, while Hellboy takes on the Queen of Blood himself in a climactic battle. Obviously, it's clear that Nimue is going to be the big bad of the film, and given her background and Excalibur's presence, I wouldn't be surprised if the movie decides to actually lean on that Arthurian myth pretty heavily. I don't see them taking that out of the film at all or watering that down, and I don't think they'd shy away from Hellboy's personal connection to it either. The fact that it appears in the trailer and the first official poster as a flaming sword as well tells me that they actually might be combining his 2 destinies. Maybe somehow Excalibur and Hellboy leading the army of the British dead might be combined with his leading the army of hell in some way, or maybe they're just really kind of simplifying what I talked about earlier, kind of him intertwining these 2 destinies that he has. Hellboy fans, I want to hear from you guys, though. What do you think about bringing Excalibur into the fold? Are you excited? Or is this whole arc with Nimue a little bit too early? Would you prefer that they start with another story first and then work their way back here? Because personally, this is the big end chapter. I'm really, really interested to see if they do want this as a new franchise, where they're going to go from this movie. That's going to do it for me here, though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash that like if you like what you saw. Subscribe for more great content every single day. And consider turning on your notifications to be alerted every time we upload a new video. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.
Bye, CJ. Thanks for coming in. What's up next? The King of Fear Explained. Nice. Guys.
guys, and welcome back to another look through the world of Mike Mignola's Hellboy universe, where we're going to be driving a bit deeper past the surface and delving into the more obscure aspects of the comics. Today, we're taking a look at a prominent BPRD antagonist and his entire race of slaves, the King of Fear. So to really understand this guy's motivations, we have to get a good understanding of where this guy came from and what exactly he's after. And basically, to do this, we have to go back to how his race of people came to be. Meaning, we have to go back to the time before humanity, to the time of the Hyperboreans. So, remember a long while ago when I talked about the creation of the right hand of doom? Well, if not, that's okay, because it was a good bit ago, so here's a quick refresher. When the world was created, there were these spirits known as Watchers, God's greatest guardians of Earth. And one of these Watchers was able to take some of God's power and create the great demon known as the Ogdru Jahad. The great beast birthed forth 300 spawn, and the Watchers did battle and imprisoned these creatures, along with Enum, the creator of the Ogdru Jahad, being killed and his right hand being preserved, while all the other Watchers were smited by God, allowing the lesser beings of the earth to finally grow into their own civilization, becoming the Hyperboreans. So these guys made a bunch of cities, but the one we need to focus on is Gorinium, because this is where the right hand of Enum found itself, under the protection of the great King Thoth and his people, who lived in splendor for thousands of years, until they were visited by the dark goddess Hecate. Obtaining knowledge of the time before, Hecate shared it with the citizens of Gorinium, and it tore the city apart, creating two different sects of people with different desires for how to use this newfound knowledge. One sect, deeming itself the right hand, wanted to preserve the old ways of their empire before Hecate tore it apart, and sought to worship and protect the sanctity of the right hand of Enum, while the left hand wanted to use their knowledge as the goddess Hecate had instructed them to, for their own benefit and place of power. The left hand made their way deep into the bowels of the earth, where they created their very own race of slaves, having this new race build great and powerful machines of war with which they could one day use to take the surface and claim ultimate power for themselves, and take it away from the new encroaching civilization of humanity. Unfortunately, their hubris brought their downfall, as the slaves rebelled against their masters and slew them all, leaving a new ruler to attempt to create a working society within the slave race, the King of Fear. Adopting his master's claim to the earth, the King of Fear waited years in order to find a power source that could awaken the mechanical war machines his people built, finally having his wish granted with the arrival of Liz Sherman, who was attempting to control the fire within her at a monastery in the Ural Mountains. Stealing her, the King of Fear had his people place Liz into a great generator.
Well, we've got to do the fire piece now.
The power of her pyrokinesis to bring their great war machines to life, but he was ultimately stopped by the BPRD, who stole the fire from these great machines and sent them, along with the King of Fear and his people, deeper into the earth and farther from the surface. He did eventually return, but only as a partner to the current Black Flame, Landis Pope, who only sought to use the King's machine and generator as a means of harnessing Ogdruhem's powers into his army of frog creatures, and was eventually killed by Pope when he discovered that the Black Flame had no intention of helping his people retake the surface, his last bid for freedom crushed under his might. But that's going to wrap this up. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be sure to catch you all next time. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and subscribe for more as they come out. Give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. And if you'd like to show your support and help us grow, consider donating to our Patreon page, where every dollar goes towards helping us to make higher quality content for you, the viewer. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.
She's here! Take cover, everyone! Big dog! Go back to work!
That's what happens when people don't eat carbs. They start seeing Satan.
Were you always this mean? I wish you were little.
Here are my natural teardrop boobs.
I think 15 G's for those things.
Enroll this child in school.
Don't look at me like that. Just look the other way. I'm the teacher.
And I'm the student.
Little.
What are you doing?
What? I need a glass of rosé. It's too early for a tequila shot.
In cinemas April 12th.
So we've got the firehead.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome back. It's been a while, but we finally got...
We'll get that Black Flame in a moment. But yeah, we've done the fire piece now. that is pretty much all that's going to be really needed to be done here. We've done the whole of the Hellboy picture. I'll give you a zoom in to show you exactly what has been done. Let's try and steady the camera. But as you see here, there is where I've done the pencil, and here is the copic marker. It blends in quite nicely. It gives you a shaded look, and it gives you a darker tone. Same way I did the whole color. As you remember, I colored in the whole face, and then what I did was I went over with the brush pens, and did the same process for the jacket. Different colors, obviously. Chest, belt, hand. Did a little bit different, but you've just seen what I did there. And the same with the rest. All it needs doing is the background. But yeah, guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching back, or if you're watching live. Let me know now. My son is home from school, so I'm going to let him say hello. Hello. And I'm just going to get this background done, and then we'll call the video done, I think. Or I might get the background done and show you guys over on Instagram, actually. Ooh, because I got the Hellboy in as well. That's going to take me quite a bit of time. But as we're coming into up to an hour, I think we'll end it here. Tune in for the next part of this video, which will be digitized, guys. I'm going to be digitizing this. I've already taken a picture of it, and I will be uploading it to my free app called Critter. Check out many of the other ways that I color in these things and get them ready for digitizing, so I know what colors and tones I want to use. If you're a fan of digital art, don't forget to check those videos out by hitting subscribe. My name's been Blute084. We've been drawing Hellboy, and I'm saying goodbye. And thank you for watching. Click the links that will appear. Otherwise, subscribe for more.